Hey guys, so I figured I'd do a car conversation video, answer some of your questions. I've had quite a few questions from my Facebook friends, and I didn't have time to really respond to them, so I figured I would just drive and talk like you were sitting in the car with me. So the first question I had was, side note, Greg and I are heading out for a run, so that's where we're off to. The first question was, how do you find such great running routes to run on? Honestly, the last Come Run With Us video, I stumbled across that place just by luck. I had a really nice neighbor that I ran by. I run by this neighbor's house quite frequently, and I've just known this neighbor for a long time, and this neighbor told me about this place. They said, we just had one of the bigger storms, the bigger, nastier storms, and the roads were just junk, and the neighbor said, you should try running down this route. So really, I find the most amount of new routes by talking to other people, okay? The one thing you really need to be careful of, and I've made this mistake more times than I can count, is making sure that you have use of that property. Because the last video I filmed, I ended up taking one of the private roads, and I guess I just assumed that it was open. I don't know why I thought it was open to the public. I thought that if it wasn't, it wouldn't be plowed. I don't know. But I found out later that I shouldn't have been going down there. Anyways, so you want to make sure that the routes that you find, if they're not open to the public, that you talk to the landowner and you get their permission, because there's no way you want to be out there using someone's property, trespassing. The second question I got was, how often do you and Greg go out and run? It really depends. Once winter hits, it's really touch and go, okay? It's harder with a baby than before you have a baby. That's obvious, okay? And I actually had another friend who has a bunch of beautiful, beautiful children, and I only have one beautiful child. And that friend had said to me, how do you find the time to go out and run? And I said, I only have one child, so it's a lot easier to go out with one child than it is with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Granted, if you live in an area where you've got your family nearby, people will most likely pitch in to help out, and I'm sure if you've got like grandmothers and grandpas nearby, they'll totally like volunteer any time to take the baby. So that's a side note. Okay, so how often do Greg and I go out and run? In a good week, 3 to 4 times a week. And in a not so good week, maybe like once or twice. I also try to go out once a week by myself without Greg. And I beg my husband to watch him. Just kidding. He does totally openly, freely watch him. So I go out by myself once a week. Yeah. The one thing about running with a baby that's different than running with yourself, I view myself as 2 very different runners. Me pre-pregnancy, pre-Greg, and then me post. I could do whatever I wanted. I could go get up at 4:30 in the morning and go out for a run. Not that I ever did that. I hate running early in the morning. I could go out for a run at 4:30 after school, because I used to be a teacher, and I could just go out when it was dark, put on my headlamp, go, no one would bother me. I can't do that with a baby. It's just not safe. And so there are a lot of things that come to play when you have a kid and you're going out with the kid, because I can't take the Bob running stroller out in a blizzard. I used to like running during snowstorms because there was no one out on the road except for the plow people, and it was beautiful, peaceful, and quiet. There's no way I would be able to attempt that with Greg. And that's just, I could, but I think I would be a real idiot if I did, because that's just not safe. So there are a lot of safety precautions you have to keep in mind that are different once you have a kid. Plus, when I first had Greg, and I as soon as I got the okay to run, I did. And I ran a few runs by myself before I took him. I was nursing him, and so there was the every 3 hours from start to finish of a nursing cycle, I had to feed him. So if I wanted to go for a run, I'd have to nurse him quickly, give him to my husband, head out the door, go for a run, come back, shower, and then literally sit down and nurse him again. So it wasn't like I could go out on like 3-hour runs just for fun. You know, you can't do that if you're on a strict nursing cycle schedule. That's just not, it just won't work. So you kind of have to plan accordingly. Let's see, did I get other questions? I really liked that people commented on my last Come Around With Us video about the racing thing. Look, thank you. I'm glad that people agree with me on the racing thing. You don't have to be a fantastic runner and, you know, race. And I think everyone knows that. I think people who love to race know that. But people who love to race find a true, genuine joy in that. And that's awesome and that's great. I don't, okay? And I never will. And I don't know if I necessarily will talk about why or why not I don't like to race. I think that's I just don't like it. And I really don't want to discourage other people from doing it because it's a great thing to do and it's a great way to stay active. But, I don't know, I don't ever foresee myself signing up for a race again. And if I do, that would be great too, but I just don't, so... but I appreciated the wonderful, nice, kind words that people had posted about that in agreement and just in understanding, I think. Well, that's about it. Oh, I need to buy new running sneakers. In fact, rule of thumb is if you're putting about, you know, you should buy new sneakers about once you hit the 500-mile mark on your sneakers. And I have gone way beyond that with mine. I've had them way too long. You can just tell. So I need to buy new shoes. I can't wait to have a house someday where I can just not have to drive somewhere to go for a run. Because where we live right now, we have to drive everywhere to go for a run. Doesn't matter where. Doesn't matter. If I go to my mom's house, which is the normal. Oh, I should back in. Or if I go to that new spot, doesn't matter. Still have to drive there. Because there's no way I'm going for a run where I currently live. It's just not safe. It's like on the busiest road ever in the town where I live. Oh my gosh, new news. So, I'm backing up. So, the other day, when I took Greg out for a run, doing that progressive thing where you can, like, I don't know, you snapshot discount because we have progressive and we always like get discounts for our insurance, like awesome discounts, and it just beeped. It beeped like it was mad at me. Good news. I wanted to get Greg the 7 a.m. stroller bunting. That's like $200. I'm not going to spend $200 on that. I think that's a bit ridiculous. If anyone If you know me, you know that I'm not gonna, I typically never buy things like that full price. So I asked a few friends to look around, but you know, I kind of want something right now. So I considered making him some stroller bunting. He had some nice stroller bunting last year, but he outgrew it. It was stuff that was primarily for like when you're an infant, okay? So I went on eBay and I found this, I think it's called a McLaren stroller. I've never heard of the McLaren stroller, but anyways, the McLaren stroller foot muff. Oh man, I just spilled my water everywhere. The McLaren stroller foot muff, and I paid, after shipping and handling, $45, which I thought was really good. It doesn't go all the way around his head, it just comes up to his chest, and it wraps him around in the stroller, and it's down material, so it keeps him super warm. So on the days where it's really, really, really cold like it was the other day, it'll be awesome. So that should be arriving any day in the mail. I'm really excited about that. Alright, I'll probably film a come around with this video because I've got the camera here. Have a great day. Go out and catch your run. Bye.